The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TV1 News. I'm Mary Silla Calaton.
And I'm Rex Litter. I'll join you later in the sports segment.
In this edition, border policing remains a challenge. LG elections further deferred. A new rubber factory for Abao district.
Police presence at the western borders of Papua New Guinea continue to be low despite the potential of illegal activities happening along those borders. Assistant Police Commissioner Border Peter Phillips says the lack of police in police stations and police posts along border districts remain a problem and is something they need to look into. While PNGDF patrols the border to keep them safe, illegal activities continue to flourish here and is evident with the number of inmates in the cells in Jayapura. Sea piracy has been on the rise around the waters between Medan and Raikos, accounting for the loss of lives and thousands of kina worth of goods from unsuspecting outboard motor travelers. One young man involved in piracy around this area surrendered to police last week, giving up the life of being on the run.
Young Dominic Bow of Panitubun Island gave himself up with the help of community leaders to save his life for the better. Dominic and two other boys have been on the run since March for stealing 3 boat engines and a boat. They then started selling the engines at 7,000 kina each and attempted to sell the boat at Karkar Island when the community leaders heard of it and persuaded Dominic to surrender. He agreed and was brought into Medang police station where he was formally arrested and charged. Medang PPC Robert Baim thanked the community leaders in Panitubun Island for assisting in keeping law and order.
Time we like simbak law and order ya belum masuk right person, paksa belum ya masuk right person, dan belum masuk simon narabla. Time we work look simon narabla lah belum ya terminal stress, and by you not making sense ya.
He also thanked Dominic for being man enough to admit his fault and for turning himself in. PPC Baim outlined to Dominic the court process and what is expected after his arrest.
Law tu ikat kona belungan yang sab, alright. Baik bantap kan surrender, usem all beluk sabelong. Usem you wanam kan man you can surrender. So law and we can walk in this in a way that and by shooting you, not shooting law too.
Baim called on local leaders of other islands to follow suit by assisting police to bring in crime suspects. All those involved with Dominic have been urged to turn themselves in, as police already have their names and locations. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
The Ministry for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs today announced revised new dates for the 2024 local level government elections. Minister responsible Soro Yoe provides the justification for the deferral of dates, being the national census and LG elections are being conducted at the same time.
The Ministry for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs have announced new revised dates for the 2024 local level government elections, mainly due to the national census that is scheduled for June 2024. The same month, the LG election was scheduled to commence. In a press conference today, Minister responsible Soro Yoe provided justification for the deferral, stating that the national census and LG elections are both important national events and need to be conducted at the same time this year.
We need to have different levels of government to take control and to provide the leadership that is required at that level to ensuring that government services are reaching our people. So that's why conducting LNG election is vitally important. It is where 80% of our people are, if not 85% of our people are. If we don't address the provincial and local level government and assisting them to develop, bring development at that level, we're missing a point altogether.
The revised new dates for the 2024 LLG elections are as follows. The issue of writs, Thursday 25th July. Nominations close Thursday 1st August. Polling starts Saturday 24th August. Polling ends Friday 6th September. Return of writs Friday 27th September. The PNG Electoral Commission and National Statistical Office will be utilizing the same government machinery at the provincial, district and the ward levels to conduct the two events.
The LLGs, I'm already told that the funds will be, the warrants are getting ready. So we are confident because the last elections we conducted with almost close to 100 million. So we are looking at close to 100 to 80 to 90 million, so we should be okay.
The ministry is appealing to all provincial governments, district development authority boards and LLG members to mobilize all necessary resources at their disposal to support the PNG Electoral Commission to conduct the 2024 LLG elections for the people of Papua New Guinea to exercise their democratic rights to elect their ward councillors in a transparent and cost-effective manner.
By-election rates for Maprik and Sohe open electorates were signed by the Governor-General Thursday at the Government House, signifying the start of the significant constitutional requirement. The Maprik open seat was left vacant after the demise of its late MP last August, while the Sohe open seat was vacated by its sitting MP after a Supreme Court decision on grounds of bribery.
By-election activities for Maprik and Sohe open electorates commenced 4 p.m. Thursday after writs were signed and issued by Governor-General Sir Bob Dadai at Government House.
Excellency, this is a non-commissioned writs
While the by-election for Maprik Open comes following the death of sitting MP Gabriel Caprice last August, the Supreme Court last November ordered a by-election for the Sohe Open seat after it declared Henry Amuli's election null and void on grounds that Amuli was aware of bribery being committed during his election campaign. The issue of writs kick off the by-election process of nominations, which close next Thursday, May 2nd. Campaign period ends May 24 and the 4-day polling starts Saturday, May 25. Writs are scheduled to be returned on Tuesday, June 18, 2024. There is a 21-day counting period, with declarations expected to be made on June 18 as well. PNG Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai appeals to the intending candidates and their supporters to respect the electoral process and assist his field officers carry out their duties as per the election law and regulation. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The staff at the Governor-General's office in Papua New Guinea have been encouraged to prioritize their health following a series of medical checks by Aeromed Medical Services and an educational visit from the PNG Kidney Foundation. The initiative aimed to address the high rates of kidney disease in the country, with Professor Matthias Apuri from PNGKF highlighting the importance of a healthy lifestyle to prevent such illnesses. The foundation, which also runs a dialysis center, has plans for a national expansion and a future kidney transplant center to make treatment more accessible and affordable. The health campaign is part of a broader effort by the Governor-General's Office, led by Grand Chief Bob Dadai, to ensure the well-being of its staff and enhanced productivity. You're watching TVWAN News. When we come back, build tools for civic disaster and love walk for better relationship. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great fumu too. Sip, sip, da mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves. Open it. He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Laga, Bungim Yumi.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young plana lapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Superstition ain't the way.
Just nurses it over. Oh, beautiful take and spin move there. Brenton Bora.
They need to split it up wide. Here they go.
Now he's the man inside ball again.
Oh, razzle dazzle from the Hunters. What a try.
These things are impossible to get into. They're like a plastic sport knocks.
Cut it, peel it, paint it, paste it, pour it, flip it, eat it, nail it.
Let's test these grill hacks.
Hack your way to a better, faster, cheaper way of life.
Jam a quarter into a watermelon and get to the Kian.
New season, Hack My Life, premieres May 6th, Mondays, 8:35 p.m. on Warner TV.
Welcome back. The Universal Church of PNG joined the rest of the church members around the world to organize a Love Walk event on Saturday, 20th April at the Adventure Park outside Port Moresby. With the theme Love Intelligently, couples came together and had a day out learning about literature, scripture, each other, and how to live up to the theme.
In Port Moresby, 275 participated in the Love Walk, while in Ley, 265 people turned up. In Arawa, 30 people participated, of which 7 were couples. Attendees learned that one key step for a blessed love life is to give.
Today we had our second Love Walk here in Papua New Guinea, and it was indeed a great blessing. Many families came together, couples, people who spend time learning about how to love intelligently, talking to their partners, and investing in their relationship.
Booklets were distributed to married couples and those in relationships to help them better understand each other. According to Pastor Jonathan Pine of the Universal Church, the Love Walk is important, especially for people here in Papua New Guinea, where the levels of problems in relationships is high.
A lot of times we hear reports of even violence breaking out into the house, husbands who beat up the wives who fight with their husbands, marriage who end up in separation, divorce, and a lot of problems like this. So a time like this where couples come together, sit down, talk about their relationship, invest in their marriage, make future plans together, see where they can improve, how they can get better.
Pastor Jonathan said, once a year the Universal Church promotes the Love Walk throughout the world, but in Papua New Guinea it only started last year, and this is the second time. He is looking forward to the next Love Walk and says he is happy to have helped all the couples that came. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
The PNG China Friendship Association yesterday donated 500 toolboxes towards the disaster appeal for the East Sepik earthquake and flood disaster that occurred recently. East Sepik Governor Alan Bird and the East Sepik Disaster Appeal Committee were present at the Sir John Guy Stadium in Port Moresby to receive the donation.
The Sepik Disaster Appeal Committee received a much-valued contribution from China PNG Friendship Associations through the Chinese Overseas Center on Thursday, 25th April. Team leader Jimmy Lin, who represented the Chinese Overseas Center, said they came with emotions as friends of the Sepik people to give what the governor himself suggested.
Disasters are no emotional, but we are human. We are Chinese, we are PNG, we are business houses, we are with the full emotional one coming to support. And passing from China PNG Friendship Association.
Jimmy said they would like to work together, helping each other as their societal responsibility. He added that when they approached the governor about their donation, he suggested tools for rebuilding homes.
This is the idea, toolbox, and come to Governor Emiet Dawson. Jimmy, thank you to Rulo, you brought Chinese Association Overseas Service Center. You brought come inside helping, come Lusawi, me brought ECP. So me brought kisi lili kakapinis, lili tempinis, me brought leading how ideally how to rebuild our home. Or saying and give you idea.
In response, Governor Alan Bird acknowledged that though there was flooding and earthquake that hit them, it was a blessing in disguise as people along the river do move the heavy building material during heavy flood seasons.
So time me visiting online lo wara oli talk. Me play nidim kai ta solo survive na biano sa me play nidim ol nil na because plan the house put down. Me play nidim nil na me play by nidim ol sem walk about sawmill na. There's like kind of something because big bla diwai stop me play can brukim na. At least no blouse me walk him, but me try walk him strong lig na, put him high lig na. So time Jimmy me sing out to me one time online blow him na me play come boom. Me talk him look money me play got enough money. Me play no need him money to master so. Suppose you play like help him because only like help him me talk alright. You play give him some tools. So na hama na all nil na kind something so me play can give him all man no place. That's all something all need him.
Governor Bird said they had responded to the immediate needs of the people. And now they are moving into the second phase of rebuilding homes and returning to normal lives. So the tools had come at the right time.
Na miya mama so sam you put him tubla sona. Tubla hama lo one bla box. So I mean also me bla can give him one bla box lo tubla family. Yeah. Kind of same all can share him all tools na build him house na. Plani time me bla sa work lo place him. Community sa kam na build him house lo one bla man na. You know one bla man. So he got kind tools, maybe put him in the community and by planting house, maybe can keep him back again.
Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
As part of its ongoing commitment to investing in community development, Total Energies Limited, as operator of the Papua LNG project, has presented 51 sunshine solar lamps to the grade 8 students of St. Margaret Catholic Primary School in the Brown River Koyari Rural LLG on Monday, April 22. 50 students, in addition to 16 teachers at the primary school, were given solar lamps in recognition of their need to do well academically and as a means of providing a more conducive learning environment.
The Papua LNG Zero Net Deforestation Project has been operating in Central Province in partnership with the Papua New Guinea Forest Authority for the past 2.5 years. And this presentation of solar lamps is an example of the ongoing support to the communities. Total Energies Business, Renewables and Carbon Neutrality Director Abdul Malik, while addressing the students and encouraging them in the pursuit of knowledge, recognized the significance of this year in preparation of their upcoming final exams and hoped that the One Sunshine lamps would allow for longer study periods. Head teacher Margaret Apellis, in appreciation for the contribution from the project, pointed out that the solar lights will not only help the students perform better academically, but will also be beneficial to their families as well. The event was witnessed in the presence of key community leaders such as the Baragadi clan chief, the ILG chairman, parish priest, parents, teachers, and representatives from Papua LNG. Papua LNG remains dedicated to improving the education and health services in its operating project areas, strengthening community relationships through initiatives such as this.
A rubber factory will be built in the Abau district of Central Province with 10 million kina allocated by the government for this project. Chairlady of the Rubber Board, Josephine Kenny, announced this during the illegal firearm and homebrew equipment surrender program at Upulima Station on Wednesday.
Known as a rubber supplier amongst other rubber suppliers in the Central Province, Upulima people of Abau district in the Central Province will now for the first time have a rubber factory in their area. This was announced by the chairlady of the Rubber Board, Josephine Kenny, during the legal firearm and homebrew equipment surrender program at Upulima Station on Wednesday. Chairlady Kenny said the government has allocated 10 million kina for the factory, and they are currently looking for a sustainable contractor to build the factory.
The government has given a 10 million kina for Upulima factory. This money no stop at the and no start the rubber industry, but you will get a factory. Council talk 10 million for Upulima factory. This the money you'll give him. And start the trade, international trade now. People must walk what them all the party who build the factory here.
She said the establishment of the factory will create direct employment, especially for the youths.
Employment like here. So you block it first step, you block surrender most of something here. Now talk us, we are ready for the change.
Kenny said once the factory is built, people in that area must refrain from seeking employment in the city. Rather, they must be heavily involved in the factory because the factory will be their main source of income. Meanwhile, Youth Coordinator Sebi Ayawa said the establishment of the factory is timely because the youths are now focusing to be involved in agricultural activities. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at 0.2554 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2559 US dollars, 0.3887 Australian dollars, 0.2305 euro, and 39.45 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, crude oil, and copper closed higher, while cocoa, copra, and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues after the break with news making headlines overseas. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Buying PNG made.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Attention rice lovers! We are giving away 300,000 kina worth of scale school money. 1,000 kina could be yours. With 300 winners and 4 fortnightly draws, your chances are higher than ever. Buy any 1 kg to 20 kg scale or ori rice, cut out the grown for PNG stamp, put it in an envelope with your name, contact details, and drop it in an entry box at selected outlets. Promotion ends March 29, 2024. Hurry and win big with scale and ori rice. Follow us on social media for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Wilson, Worship, out the back, Hossa, holds it up, and Yosei! Braden Yosei. AJ Lamb putting the foot down and scoring. Won't get his man, Valentini! Bashes his way over.
For the first time, 5 90-day couples will come together to face their relationship demons. Will they leave stronger than ever? Or say goodbye for good? Your newest 90-day obsession is here. This is The Last Resort. Sundays 8:30 on TLC.
Thanks for staying with us. David Lambon's suspension from office 2 years ago on allegations of misconduct sparked a judicial crisis that has left the Pacific Island nation of Kiribati without any senior judges. Justice Lambon has fought a long-running legal battle to block his suspension, but overnight the country's parliament voted in favor of a resolution advising President Taneti Maamau to remove him from the High Court. Justice Lambon has lived in Kiribati for many years and is married to the current opposition leader, Tessie Lambon. In a statement, Justice Lambon said he was deeply saddened by the resolution in Parliament and said it was a process motivated by politics. The community of Meriden turned out in force for the Anzac Dawn service, but this year was a special commemoration. The town came together to remember one of their favorite sons who spent his post-Vietnam service life serving and supporting his mates back home.
Pre-dawn in Meriden, an Anzac tradition. Hundreds turned out to honour those who served and didn't return. But this is also a story about a town saying a final farewell to a soldier who survived the Vietnam War and carried on the traditions of courage, mateship and service back home, volunteering in his community for 50 years.
And Mr. Jim Wilcox, Vietnam veteran, who answered the call of duty and served our nation with unwavering dedication.
Jim died earlier this year, his family receiving a posthumous award for his 50 years with the RSL.
Unfortunately, he was the last president of the RSL, and the RSL no longer exists in Meriden as a result.
Mr. Wilcox served in Vietnam between 1970 and 71 with the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Australian Army Regiment. He was instrumental in helping the local RSL create this reflection pool, echoing the cross of Long Tan, and was on hand for decades of Anzac commemorative services.
And he helped anybody that needed help, and he'd be there just helping everybody. He was a legend.
Each week for months he drove a fellow Vietnam vet from Meriden to Hollywood Hospital for cancer treatment. But when the end was near, Jim took him out of the hospice and drove him home to Meriden.
Told the doctors he was just taking him up to Kings Park, but Jimmy told a fib. He actually brought the gentleman back to Meriden to have one last look at his little property and also his beloved cat. But Jimmy was like that. He was always putting his mates first.
We showed that not only was he a good servant of Meriden, but just a good bloke.
A true reflection of the Anzac digger who came home to serve.
Almost 30 pilot whales have died and more than 100 have been monitored at sea following a mass stranding event on Western Australia's southwest coast. Hundreds of people joined the rescue effort at Toby Inlet near the tourist town of Dunsborough, 240 kilometres southwest of Perth.
Distressing scenes as word of a whale stranding spread on social media and volunteers rushed to the beach.
I mobilised really quickly and came down here and found 160 whales on the beach just here. Just to see that many animals up on the beach was really, really distressing.
Residents and tourists drawn to help, with authorities warning them to be cautious.
There's definitely a lot of upset people. I mean, there's a little calf over there, which is pretty upsetting.
Despite their efforts, dozens of whales died, most of them adult females and young calves.
Sometimes it might be a member of the pod is ill and the others follow. Sometimes it might be some kind of noise disturbance. Disease can be a factor, so it's very varied.
Today's scenes reminding residents of past strandings. At least 90 whales died in a stranding at Chains Beach in Albany, south of Perth, in July last year. The largest mass stranding in WA occurred in 1996 in Dunsborough, involving 320 finned pilot whales, most of which survived. There are similar hopes for the more than 100 whales that appear to have made their way to deeper water today.
I've not seen numbers like this in a recovery, so I'm really, really stoked with the outcome. And it's still very, very early, and hoping that that pod remains strong and keeps swimming back out into deep water.
Our spotter plane goes up daily, and we'll have it up probably twice a day. Over the next few days, we'll be tasking them to keep an eye on what's happening.
Wildlife authorities are now collecting data and samples from the dead whales in hopes of understanding how this happened. They then have the unenviable task of removing the carcasses from the beach.
The economic recovery from the COVID pandemic continues to be slow, with a $1.5 billion hole remaining in Victoria's tourism sector. China is by far the most important tourism market for the state, but it's still far behind where it was, prompting calls for greater action.
Planes touching down from China. But its human cargo is no longer as valuable.
And the aircrafts are somewhat full, but we haven't seen the Chinese tourist return specifically.
Chinese tourists are by far the most important visitors to the state's economy. Before the pandemic, tourists from China spent $3.3 billion in Victoria. Last year, it was $1.7 billion.
The Chinese market pre-COVID was worth more to Victoria than the next 9 international markets that come to our shores.
Before Before COVID, Greg O'Donoghue's winery on the Mornington Peninsula was open every day, but now it's open less.
You know, in midweek we'd be getting Chinese groups coming through, which would allow us to, operate in an environment that was viable. But at the moment, there's just not enough numbers coming through.
The pandemic and deteriorating relations between Australia and China hurt all aspects of trade. Victorian wine, barley and lobster exports to China all ground to a halt. Those tariffs are now being lifted.
We really need airfares to come down and the whole cost, the whole cost across the board to be more viable.
Group travel was important for Victorian tourism, but until August last year it was banned by China and the restart has been slow. Capital Airlines is adding more flights to Melbourne, but the sector is urging governments to do more to resurrect the trade, especially given the speed of the recovery elsewhere.
New South Wales is performing extremely well. They've returned about 96% of their pre-COVID spend. Queensland has returned about 94%. We're sitting at about 73%. So there's a pretty big gap.
I have some confidence that China will rebound even further this year in terms of the actual numbers of people coming here, and we expect by 2028, over the next 4 years, it to be above where it was.
Business hopes that confidence takes off.
The Northern Territory government has released its 10-year plan for how to manage crocodile populations across the top end. The plan will mean more crocodiles will be removed each year, but experts say the plan is a step in the right direction.
Just beneath the surface of top-end waterways, but more of the Territory's most dangerous hunters are set to become the hunted.
Because we do see them now increasingly in our public spaces.
The NT government announcing its latest crocodile management plan, aiming to harvest 90,000 eggs every year. It also wants targeting culling in areas frequented by swimmers, and an increase in the number of crocodiles being taken from the wild each year, from 300 to 1,200.
We know that that's sustainable. We've got scientific evidence in that to back up those decisions.
The plan comes less than a year after a tourist was bitten on the arm by a crocodile in Litchfield National Park, an incident that reignited debate.
But I think it's time for us to consider, do we need to go back to culling, considering that significant increase in the crocodile population?
Some who have long advocated for sustainable management of the animals say the plan is a step in the right direction.
Things aren't just going to happen instantly. There's landowner involvement, there's industry involvement. So the ability to perhaps do everything that the plan perhaps aims to, is going to be dependent on a bunch of different factors.
The move is also being seen as a win if traditional owners are involved.
Our system is more cultural, sustainable and more culturally appropriate way of managing the numbers of our very important totemic animal.
The chance to take a snap of one of the Territory's apex predators has long drawn tourists from across the globe to the top end. Now, both conservationists and tourism operators will be hoping that this new crocodile management plan will ensure the survival of the species for generations to come.
And that ends the news segment. Over to you, Rex.
Thank you, Marcella. And that ends the news segment. Next is sports. The bar is primed for Vipers and Discipline Coast defends a sport.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Carrying cash around used to be an everyday nightmare. So much trouble, so much danger. Now, this worry is over thanks to Cellmoney. It's safe and quick. I simply visit the Cellmoney agent down the street to load my money into my Cellmoney wallet and send money to my family and friends. And best of all, it's free. These days, I don't have to join long queues, but use my Cellmoney to send money to my mother, who also uses Cellmoney. She gets an alert to let her know when the money is in. Saves time and makes it easier to send money without any fees, anytime, anywhere. With my Cellmoney wallet, I can easily buy my EasyPay without a hassle. Cellmoney, do it all with Cellmoney.
paper, scissors is super relaxing. Just kidding. These three have a ridiculously good time. So get ready for absurd adventures, unique friendships, and fearless attitude. It's so much more than a game. It's a brand new show. Wow. Yes. Rock, Paper, Scissors, the brand new show, starts April 29th on Nickelodeon. Also available on demand. Check with your local operator for more info.
Imagine a hairdressing robot. Imagine a cardboard castle. Imagine a swanocopter. Ready? Well, now you just have to build it.
Oh yeah, super slick. Yes. Ta-da! It's groom-tastic.
If you can dream it, you can build it. Builder Brothers Dream Factory. New show Thursday and Friday, 9:30 a.m. on Cartoonito.
He's seen as a table legend.
That is delicious.
Join Tommy Gomes in a tasty culinary voyage.
Holy mackerel. Did I just say that? We're exploring where your quality American seafood comes from. Quality is key. The uglier the fish, the better it tastes.
Take a deep dive into America's commercial fishing culture. The Fishmonger. Streaming now on Outdoor.
Welcome back. As Pepsi Money Plus Capital Rugby Union prepares to kick off its 2024 season, poor discipline from the supporters have cost one of the founding clubs of the competition, Defence Rugby Union, their spot in the competition for the 2024 season. Coney Sharks secure themselves the vacated spot in the competition through 1-for-1 swap as they make their return to the competition after more than a decade. President of Pepsi Money Plus Capital Rugby Union, Corey Chen, highlighted discipline from both players and supporters important to the game. He made this comment at the launching of the 2024 Pepsi Money Plus Capital Rugby Union competition. He said Defence Rugby Union was suspended for 1 year due to an incident involving supporters in the semi-final match last year, 2023, which cost the team spot in the competition as the players moved to other teams in a sad divorce.
Okay, given the incident that happened in the semi-final of last year, you know, always disappointing to see players suffer. Okay, and it comes back to spectators and supporters. Okay, so if you want to see your players take the field and represent the club and do a good job, which the defence players did, supporters too must walk all to almost behind him, passing bloom.
Chen believed this 1 year suspension will allow the Defence Rugby Union club to have a deep reflection of itself, getting its supporters and work together to rebuild culture of the team as they prepare to return for the 2025 season next year.
So, yeah, look, disappointing to not see defence there, but they've got 12 months. As a club, I put the challenge to them to make sure that they try and look at rebuilding their culture, okay, within the club and also with their supporters, okay, so that they can come back in 2025. You know, defence are one of our foundation clubs, and I don't lose sight of that. I recognise it, but there's a cultural issue there that we need to fix.
While anticipating the better version of Defence Rugby Union Club in 2025, Chen is grateful to see Coney Sharks return on the pitch. He said once the fierce club Coney Sharks used to dominate rugby back in the days and are expected to bring some entertaining footy back onto the pitch this season. He said they have a great talent pool and he is anticipating some good rugby.
Okay, so you know, it's good to have them back in the comp. They were once a very fierce team, you know, going back to 2009 and 10, and hopefully they can, you know, rebuild, you know, that level of competition they can bring played with. So we like looking all this plakain mangi come na pilai or merito, and bring their talent to the field and see them playing on the field as well with us.
The Pepsi Money Plus Capital Rugby Union kicks off tomorrow, 27th April at the Bava Park, Port Moresby. Rugby fans are urged to come and watch exciting rugby matches if they had nothing to do on the weekend. The 2024 annual Crocodile Boxing Challenge has returned. The boxing event on Sunday, April 28th at the Lamana Boxing Club in Port Moresby will see PNG boxers squaring up against champion boxers from Australia, Boxing New South Wales and Boxing Victoria. The Crocodile Boxing Challenge between PNG and Australian boxers started back in 2016. Commemorates Anzac Day through sports. The event on Sunday gives the national boxers opportunity to compete against top opponents. President of PNG Boxing Union, Dr. Gideon Candino said, this boxing challenge would be the real test for PNG boxers, where they can measure their strength, stamina and skills against quality oppositions from Australia.
Mentioned, the Crocodile Cup Challenge provides a realistic status as to where our boxers are regionally. The Australian boxers that have come up from Boxing Victoria and Boxing New South Wales are mostly the champion boxers. So that gives us a reality check on the quality of our boxers.
The assistant coach of the PNG national team, Peter Morrison, said, this is one of the top boxing challenges in the region with many title-holding boxers competing, which is a good challenge for the PNG boxers.
The quality of competition and boxers that we've had come through this competition is pretty much second to none, I would think, in our region, considering we've had 3 Olympians compete, many Australian champions. Everyone that's coming up here from Australia is a state or national champion. We've got girls that have medalled at the world level. So the quality of competition that our PNG athletes are now going to put themselves against really sets them up to know where they are on the world stage.
Morrison added that the Crocodile Challenge is a fantastic way to continue the strong bond that our countries, Australia and PNG, have, especially in the sporting arena. Morrison said he has been part of this event since its inception in 2016 and is happy to promote boxing. The president of PNG Boxing Union, Dr. Candino, concluded that the 2024 Crocodile Boxing Challenge will also be a preparation event for the PNG national team for the Olympic qualifier in Thailand in May, Junior Oceania Boxing Championship in July in Tahiti, and Men and Women's Boxing Championship in October in Fiji.
So far.
At the exclusion of prop Valentine Richard and centre second row Robert Matthias, has again forced PNG Hunters coach Paul Aiton to make some crucial positional changes to this weekend's Hunters lineup before flying off to Brisbane today, ahead of the Anzac Day Round 7 clash against third place Belly Bears at UAA Park, Gold Coast, Queensland tomorrow.
This is Tony Warwick, promoted from the bench to the starting 13 in number 8 jumper, while Rotinga retains his number 4 jumper in the centre. 18th man Sil Kalo now comes on to the interchange bench in 17, while Joshua Mire in 16. Wendell Kipsey now becomes the 18th man as part of the travelling party. While there are a number of enticing meetings set to play out across this weekend, with Black Hawks and Dolphins showdown wrapping up round 7 on Sunday. Saturday, the Central Queensland Capras and Sunshine Coast Falcons will meet for the first time since last year's semi-final series, while Burleigh Bears and PNG Hunters have their annual Anzac match set to kick off 3 p.m. in the Crocodile Cup Challenge on the Gold Coast. Bears coach Luke Bird said it's one game that they always look forward to at this time of the year against the PNG Hunters and expecting a physical match. Bird said PNG come with a real physical mentality, so they need to be on defensively and be really smart with what they do with the ball. After they lost to Dolphins last week, Hunters coach Paul Aiton has made some key changes to his lineup for the Bears match, adding they're expecting a tough match. Aiton said after a tough pre-season, they're getting better but lacks a bit of consistency. He said playing against quality sides like Burleigh is really good for them. It just means they keep improving each week, which is the main thing. The Hunters will be expecting nothing more than that, Aiton said. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
though it may have taken 8 weeks, but the Gold Coast Titans are finally on the board in 2024 with a hard-fought 27-24 victory over the New Zealand Warriors last night in Auckland. Travelling to New Zealand for the country's first home Anzac Day game since 2015, the Titans started slowly before wrestling back momentum and producing a gritty defensive effort in the final 20 minutes to record their first win of the season. Here are the highlights.
We will remember them.
So the Titans have got the game underway, and it's going to be Whanua Blake with the first carry. Egan. Good hands. Nickel clock start. What a way to start his 100th.
You mentioned it, Glenn. 100th milestone for NRL goes for this man.
That was a beauty, but it's a set restart. Here's Johnson. Whanua Blake. He's got the gas and he's got Brimson right there. Oh, that's brilliant from the Titans. Let's see what the Titans can cook up here. Boyd. And he scores a try. Oh, bounces out and tackles AJ Brimson. Here he is, AJ Brimson.
That's good.
Oh, brilliantly taken there from Fafita again. Oh, he's bursting through, almost scoring there, Jojo Fafita. Here's Randall again. Back on the inside, David Fafita. He's there. David Fafita, just too powerful. Let's have a look here, and Boyd's going for a field goal. Oh, he's hit it well. It did go over. Look at this. And they are going to the sheds with a deserved half-time lead.
Opportunity for them to go up again.
As Kelly gets through a tackle and offloads, and there's another try. Randall, Foran, Fafita, and Brimson scores a double. The Titans are hot. Shook a bit disappointed, didn't drag Montoya into touch there. Walker, Whanua Blake is through. Whanua Blake, oh yeah! Johnson. There's a contest, what a catch, and what a try! Oh my goodness! Rocco Berry!
Well, the referee is right there, Rocco Berry.
Johnson tries something different. No knock on, says the officials. It's taken 8 rounds for them to get over the line, and they've beaten the Warriors here in Auckland on Anzac Day.
Guest Resources Central Dabaris will be looking for their first win of the season this weekend when they face off with undefeated Moni Plus and CDC Vipers in round 3 of the 2024 Judicial ExxonMobil Cup this Sunday at the Santos National Football Stadium. Dabaris did a good job on the East New Britain Egmark Rabaul Gurias last week, holding them to a 12-all draw at full time, and keen to step up another gear this week against the star-studded Vipers lineup. The other round 3 matches will be played in Means on Saturday and Goroka and Wabek on Sunday.
Dabaris Pine, Niki Hasu, Lotte Kuman and Matthew Wawe looked little against Gurias last week and are expected to use that momentum to cause problems for the Vipers through the middle. Coach Stephen Ginua, with a cool head mentality, has a lot of trust in his men that they can match the Vipers on Sunday, provided they fix up their attack with minimal drop balls. Though he was impressed with the team's defensive attitude last week, he expects some consistency this week against an imposing Vipers forward pack. Ginua would be relying on veteran Gene Markham and Dixon Yamison, Cliff Dange and Mondo Lucky to set a platform for their pacey back 5, led by wrecking ball Joe Frank the Tank and Laga Batia to score points. Vipers captain Gilmore Paul, who played his role well last week, leading from the centre position to hand Tumbe their first loss of the season, would be looking for some big improvement, especially in the discipline department, rather than leaking too many niggling penalties. something they can't afford to do against quality teams like the Baris. Vipers forward pack has been boosted with the return of prodigal son Adekava after a 2-year stint with the Baris, joined by Tommy Moide Tigers, Julius Akopa Muruks and Super Kokote Miox. Journeyman and veteran Charlie Simon in 7 adds depth to the Vipers' main engine room, especially his direction and experience in the spine, partnering young Joel Gina at 6 against an informed Debari spine. Former Wigman #1 Sylvester Bulu brings his running game to the contest, and if last week's man of the match performance is anything, he'll be pumped for a big game this weekend. The preceding matches kick off at 12 noon with a young PRK Galfiso outfit up against a revamped Croton Wigman side who will be without their general and captain Solomon Pokari out injured. Next on the card, Eastern Britain Agma Gurius lock horns with all-time rival Wamga Mount Hagen Eagles at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, at Ipus Oval Wabek, defending premiers KMH Angamiox host Lacenex Tigers. At NSI Goroka, Bintagor Goroka Lahad is ready for their first home game against the Western Britain Provincial Government Kimbe at 2 p.m. The Judicial Action Mobile Cup Round 3 kicks off tomorrow Saturday with a blockbuster at Mins. Osila Wagi Tume out to hold PRK Mandy Muruk's early season surge 2 p.m. at the John Ambani Oval. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
That's all we have in sports. Maricela.
Thank you, Rex. We'll now have the weather forecast. Southern, Port Moresby mostly fine with chances of few showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Momase, Ley mostly fine, partly cloudy with possible afternoon showers and thunderstorm. New Guinea Islands, Loringau partly cloudy with possible thunderstorm in the evening. Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe mostly fine, partly cloudy. Highlands, Mount Hagen, Goroka Barnes and Kundiawa, morning fog clearing into mostly fine then brief afternoon showers. Coral Sea, seas rough with southeast winds of 15 to 33 knots. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands, Kerma to Yule Island, Hood Point to Samarai Islands, seas 1 to 2 meters rising to 2.5 to 3 meters along warning areas. And that ends this edition of TV1 News. Have a safe weekend. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank